Good morning. Lately, I've been taking a deep dive into love. What does it mean that love can heal all? Is this really true? Is it actually something tangible, something we can see in our lives? Throughout my healing journey, the past years, decade really, I've heard that quite a bit from other people, other sources, other healers, that love truly can heal all. And if we can connect the love within ourselves, within our hearts, our light and love that's our truth at our core, then anything is possible. And I heard this, and a part of me believed it, a part of me wanted to believe it, and then a part of me was like, well, I don't know what that means. I don't know what that is. What does it mean to truly live from love, live from the heart all the time within my life? So I've been playing with this regularly the past month here, and it's shown up in some amazing ways in my life that I wanted to share. So as most of you know, I've had irritable bowel disease for 15 years, and then it went into remission in 2014, so 5 years ago. But even though it went into remission, I still had a lot of digestive upset and symptoms, intestinal bleeding, running to the bathroom 10 to 20 times a day. That was still going on. And I just kind of dealt with it and lived with it and just allowed it to be okay, which took a lot of the stress off of the illness and the symptoms by just accepting and allowing it to be okay. So lately I've had this feeling stirring up in me that there's a deeper meaning to love that I haven't quite embraced and explored at its depth yet. And as I've been meditating more and connecting more to my heart and the light within and the truth of my soul, I've come to know love in a different way than I did before, on a more personal, deeper level. And I've come to really see the truths of how love really is a solution to all that ails us, physical, emotional, the turmoil in the world. It can all be solved by coming back within, by coming back to our hearts and acknowledging our light and feeling and living and really embodying the love that we are. And it's taken me a while to really play with this idea of love and to really understand what that meant for me and what it really means to love ourselves. So one way that it showed up in my life that I noticed a huge improvement in was my digestive system. So what I've been doing, playing with this idea, is I paid really close attention to what my thoughts were, what my beliefs were surrounding my body, my digestion, what I eat. Because I was a trained nutritionist and I was brought up to do everything you could to solve problems, on the physical, tangible level, meet our reality where it's at, right? I still had a deep connection and belief in the energetic world and in vibration and non-physical stuff, but I still was stuck into that belief system that I do have to do something for my body, right? I have to take medications, I have to do supplements, I have to be careful with my diet. And that was a big one that I've always struggled with, having irritable bowel disease, and I think most people do, is about your diet. What do I eat? Is it really the food that's hurting me? Is it my beliefs about the food? Is it my emotional trauma that is trumping really the food, and that's what's causing the disease? And I've come to find over the years, it really is a part of all of it. But most importantly, it's listening to your intuition and really listening to how you talk to yourself, to the vibration you bring into your life every day. So I noticed, I sat down and I was doing this, and as I was eating, just whatever, I decided I wanted to eat, I was listening and paying attention more, observing more of the voice that I had behind the food that I was eating. Because it was easy for me to say certain foods, hurt me or disagreed with my body or I'm allergic to or sensitive to. It's easy to say that, but I never really believed it. Even though I was trained this way, I was taught, in functional medicine to think this way, I never really believed it. I never really believed it was actually the food that was hurting me. Doesn't mean that my body wants every food that's out there, or every, processed, packaged food that I really don't resonate with. Doesn't mean that I just go out and can eat all of that stuff. I mean, I can if I want to, but it's really about paying attention to what my body wants and how I'm talking to myself. So I noticed that as I was taking bites of certain food, in the back of my mind, it was kind of subconscious, kind of deep, but it was there. And when I asked for these thoughts and these beliefs to come forward, I could hear them and observe them. I would say things like, oh, I really shouldn't eat too much of that. I'm going to be running to the bathroom too much tomorrow if I eat that. Or there's too much sugar in that. I really want to eat it, but I shouldn't. It's bad for me. It's going to cause all sorts of inflammation. I shouldn't eat that. And then I would sometimes eat it anyway. I would eat these foods, but I would tell myself negative things about the food. And I would feel guilty sometimes afterwards, after eating it, for no good reason. It was just how I was trained in my mind to think of food. Or if I'd eat gluten, I'd be like, oh no, I ate too much gluten. Now I'm gonna have trouble tomorrow or the next day. Or maybe that's why I'm tired, or maybe that's why this is going on. So I need to not eat gluten. And yet a part of me was like, no, this is something you do want to eat. This is something you can enjoy eating. But I would eat it with this tense energy. This energy that was so far from loving my food. So what I decided to do, instead of going back into the pattern of restricting my diet, taking supplements, doing what I could physically for my body to try to mitigate these symptoms, is I decided this time completely and wholly to go into love and to change the way I was thinking about food. And it was not easy. Of course, this is never easy. It's simple, but it's not easy at first, but it's getting easier. So what I did is I decided when I wanted to eat something, say it was a piece of pizza, beforehand my mind used to go, oh my God, you can't eat this. It's got dairy on it. It's got gluten. It's got tomato sauce. You're sensitive to this. You're going to bloat. You're going to have, intestinal bleeding. This is not going to be good. But yet my mind and my mouth and my taste buds and my sense of smell, everything wanted to have that piece of pizza. It was like, going to be a pleasurable experience. A part of me wanted the pleasure of just eating it and enjoying it, and the other part of me was warring against it in my mind. So I started to change those thoughts while I was still eating whatever it was. Say it was the pizza. So I would take a bite of pizza, and when the thoughts would pop up in my mind of how I shouldn't be eating this, I would just talk to them, and I would invite them to kind of stay and be there, and that it was okay that I had these thoughts. I'm not going to resist my thoughts. That never works. That just creates more thoughts that you don't want. And so I sat there with them, and I would tell myself, it's okay that you think this is bad. It's okay that you think that this is going to hurt you. It's okay that you think you're not allowed to eat this pizza. And then as I'm chewing the food, I'm allowing it to be okay, but then I'm also putting in the thoughts of how enjoyable this is, how much I love the flavors in my mouth, how good it tastes, the smells, the feeling of that warm, soothing food. And I would put love into it with every bite. So I started doing this about a month ago, really. But I actually noticed the effects dramatically right away. When I started doing this, I was having a lot of diarrhea, my intestines were bleeding, I was having a lot of upset in my digestive tract. And so I went from, oh my God, should I be taking supplements, should I not be, to deciding to do this all by energy and all by my thoughts and beliefs. Within about 4 or 5 days, all my symptoms disappeared. And not just to the point where I could tolerate it and it was okay like before, because even with supplements, I never felt great or like I had normal digestion. But it went that way. It went from being really distressed, my whole gut, to calming way down. And I didn't change my food. I didn't change it. I mean, I've always eaten more natural. I've always loved more organic, natural whole foods. But I also always had a fear of vegetables because that would be the most painful thing for me to eat when I had active irritable bowel disease. It was the one thing that I always thought I should eat, but it was what was causing me the most distress emotionally and mentally as well because of the roughage of the vegetables. And so I just kind of picked out intuitively what I wanted to eat that day. And sometimes it was some ice cream. And before, I mean, I love ice cream, but before, as I eat the ice cream, I would have been screaming at myself in my head, what are you doing? You can't eat this much sugar. You can't eat this much dairy. It's gonna cause inflammation. It's gonna cause, congestion. It's gonna cause, bloating or whatever, and I would do that to myself all the time while trying to enjoy ice cream, never really feeling good about it. And so this time I take my ice cream and I literally let every bite just melt in my mouth and really feel the flavors and the coolness and the creaminess and how much I love it. And so I'm pouring the energy of love into everything I'm eating. And my digestive tract has calmed down and has stayed calmed down. I haven't had, normal, bowel movements and feeling of normal digestion in so many years. Over the years I've touched on it. Maybe I had that for a few days, but that was it. And now it's been weeks of my entire digestive tract just being so calm and working beautifully. I can sleep at night. I'm not running to the bathroom. It's just really, really cool. It's really cool, and I'm very excited. And I've come to realize that it's love. It's just love that I'm pouring into it, but I'm being more conscious about how I'm pouring the love into it. Whereas before I was like, yeah, okay, I'll try this, but I don't really, not really thinking this is gonna work because it's not something I can action, like I can do and take and see really, it's not like taking a medication. It's not like, going out and exercising and restricting my diet. Those are all tangible things that we're taught are the solutions or what we have to do and the way we have to take action. And I've come to find that's not true at all. That's not true at all. And I've been connecting so much more this summer with my light and the love that I am, and now practicing this at a deeper level. It's just amazing. It can heal. It can heal all. Love truly, truly is the answer. It truly is. And I want to share that because I want everybody to not only know that, but maybe start to entertain that idea for themselves, even if it doesn't feel real yet, even if it doesn't feel possible yet, just to know that the possibility is there, the opportunity is there, and we can take the time to pay attention throughout our day where we're pouring our thoughts and our focus and what those are. Are they, are they positive? Are they healthy? Are they thoughts that feel better? Are they thoughts of enjoyment, thoughts of love? Or are they thoughts of, I should be doing this or I shouldn't be doing that, or stressful stuff, frustration, feeling down on ourselves? Is that what we're pouring into our vibration? Is that what's showing up more in our lives, in our environment, in our body? And then another thing I wanted to talk about too, briefly, because this happened yesterday, was about our climate change. And yesterday, all across the country, there were walkouts that the youth, younger children, younger generation have been doing. They left school, they walked out to advocate for our climate and for our environment. And I wanted to talk about that for a minute because, as I've told people before in my videos, I'm not really an advocate, as in like going out and fighting for things. I don't really go to large groups where there's a lot of energy. I'm very sensitive to energy, so it's not a good environment for me to be in, especially if anybody's angry or upset. I absorb that and I pick it up and take it in my body, and it doesn't feel good. So I don't ever feel the need to be an activist for the planet in that way, as in going to rallies and stuff. But I very much am connected to the planet, and I very much take my gifts and my job seriously with what I do, helping to awaken people to themselves so they can see and feel the connectedness to our planet, to other people, to everyone around us, so then they can make the changes that we need for everything to come back into balance and harmony. And what I've come to find, and what I truly believe in my heart, messages I have heard, is that the heating up of our climate, yes, physical things in our reality that we can see, decisions people are making, the way we do things here in this world. But even more important, the environment responds to our emotions, it responds to our beliefs, it responds to our energy, our vibration as a collective, as a whole. And as we've noticed, I'm sure most of you have noticed over the years here recently, that the world has been heating up. Our emotions have been heating up. People are coming out with a lot more anger. We're purging a lot more hatred. We're purging and cleansing all these emotions that we've kept kind of subdued and stuffed down. There's so many, groups. I don't really watch the news very often because it is usually very heated and too much energy for me. But I know there's lots of different things happening across the world, lots of different groups of people that are starting to speak up and speak out and come forward. And all of this energy is heating up. It's heating our planet up. So for those that don't understand how vibration, how much who we are, what we focus on, what we believe, what our emotions are, affects our environment, because we're all one. We're all connected. We're connected to the weather. We're connected to the plants, to the animals, everything. The humans are the caretakers of the earth. We're connected to Mother Earth in ways that we have denied and forgotten for so long. It only makes sense that as we are heating up and purging ourselves as a collective, the earth is heating up as well. So hi Lynx. What I prefer to do, rather than go out and rally and be activists, which I think is fine and is great for those that feel called to do that. That's awesome. You guys do that. It's just not my place. I'm here to help people waking up within, waking up to their hearts, wake up to the love that they are. And that, from that place, as we start to really acknowledge our love, as I've been doing, and acknowledge our light, and acknowledge our truth, that will ripple out and affect our environment even more. And as people start to come down, I think in the years we're already seeing drastic changes, but as they start to come back down from their anger and their heated energy and back into their hearts and fully embracing who they truly are, we're going to see the weather settle down. We're going to see the earth kind of balance out. Everything is going to calm down and come more into harmony. And I know it can be kind of scary right now, and to think that going within and starting to really connect more to yourself, like, can affect the whole environment, that doesn't really seem logical in our minds and the way we've been taught to think. But that's why I'm here, to bring this awareness. And many of us are coming forward now. We're not staying as quiet as we used to be, because it's time to bring this awareness of how we feel inside, how we live our lives, truly affects everyone and everything around us. So I wanted to share that, mostly on love. Love is at our core. Love is in our hearts. We are light. We are all light beings. We are all capable of the most beautiful love, even for people that we don't really like, even for people that we don't like what they do or don't get along with. I recognize that we are all here, and we are all here to shift the consciousness of the world and to bring light to things that maybe have been buried within us, within other people, within our systems in the world. It's all coming to light now. So pay more attention during the day. Pay attention to how you really feel towards other people, towards yourself, and maybe there's some space in there to open up our hearts a little bit more and have a little bit more love for everyone in the world. Bye.